The season finale of Ahsoka came out this week, and it was everything I expected from the show.
It's moronic, a complete waste of time.
Episode 8, Ahsoka. And you know what this is entitled? So, again, the genius that is Dave Filoni is calling back to things he's seen before, because apparently the man can't have original thoughts.
Nothing more than a common thief.
Clearly a callback to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It even rhymes properly. C.S. Lewis is turning over in his grave. Dave, can't you come up with original thought? Really? You can't? Well, you know what? We've called Dave Filoni a lot of things.
What an idiot!
Wookie Be Bad likes to call him Dave Filoroni because he's just all about putting filler in shows as opposed to actual substance.
Always being generous.
I have personally enjoyed Dave Filoni, kind of like felony, because what he's doing is a crime.
I understood that reference.
One of our watchers in the chat came up with a new name, and for Filoni, which honestly, I'm honestly kind of ashamed that I didn't think of it myself. All credit to Marlene Blackwinter for coming up with Dave Plagiarist. Dave Plagiarist.
That sounds about right.
Great job, Dave. You are such a genius. And you know what? Let's get into the genius of this episode. We start out with the transfer of the sarcophagi, whatever the hell they are, from the Night Sister tombs onto the Star Destroyer being complete. And Grand Admiral Thrawn decides, let's send out 2 TIE fighters to eliminate the Jedi. You know, this is going to be something that happens a lot. For some reason, Grand Admiral Thrawn just kind of like gives the minimal amount of troops to eliminate his enemy. It happens a lot through this episode. He has a giant Star Destroyer. Thousands of stormtroopers. I don't care if they're zombies or Night Witch enhanced, whatever the hell they are. He's got a whole bunch of stormtroopers on the ship. He's got a freaking Star Destroyer. He hasn't found Ezra Bridger in the 10 years that he's been marooned on this planet. There's now a Jedi shuttle there. You can track the shuttle. I mean...
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
Dave Filoni is a genius.
Genius, genius!
Well, Morgan Elsbeth, guess what? She gets a promotion, yeah. The Night Sisters are so happy. The Great Mothers are so happy for what she's done. She gets promoted to, like full Night Sister. Yeah, that's right. And then apparently in a callback to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, she's given the Green Destiny.
The blade. Both toes.
Yeah, I know it's called the Sword of Talzin, which goes back to some Night Sister lore we had, I think, of the Clone Wars. It's a freaking katana sword.
But it's like a pretty big promotion.
Promotions are awesome. Everyone loves getting promoted. But you know what? I just don't care. I'm not invested in this character. I've never been invested in this character, even as a bad guy. I'm not invested in this character. So what does this mean? Nothing. We then actually get a scene that I actually kind of liked. It's a scene where Ezra is building a new lightsaber for himself. Now, there's a couple things about this. And I say I liked it because I liked the conversation. I liked some of the information we got. But overall, this is now inconsistent with what we saw in the previous episode, which I think is a fault of the writers. So we all know in the last episode, Ezra was offered his lightsaber from Sabine and he turned it down.
It's your lightsaber. Take it.
You keep it.
What?
I don't need it. The Force is my ally. That's all I need.
The Force is my ally. And we saw him doing his Force foo stuff, fighting with a modified sort of melee style, using force pushes and everything, which is generally fine. It didn't look great, honestly, but the idea is good. It's okay for a Jedi. But he rejected his lightsaber because he doesn't need it. That's what he says. But what does he do? He gets on the ship and he decides, I got to build myself a lightsaber. Guys, read your own scripts. The building of the lightsaber is not bad because we get some callbacks to Kanan, which is good. We get the idea that Kanan was significant to Ezra, which he was.
Is that so? Yeah. He was my master. Taught me everything I know.
Kanan Jarrus is a significant figure, but he's given the short shaft. He should be recognized more, in my opinion. But at least here we do get him recognized. We see Hu Yang talking about him, recognizing his real name, Caleb Doom. We see him giving Kanan's saber guard the hilt to Ezra. So it's a nice callback. It's a good recognition for a character who has been neglected in any mention whatsoever in the series. And I think he should have been mentioned more. I also like the fact that we actually finally got, for once, some explanation into the Night of a Thousand Tears, which is the event where Mandalore was basically glassed by the Empire. Now we have a timeline. Now we know when Sabine was training. Now we know when Mandalore was eliminated. Now we know when Bo-Katan lost the Darksaber. This is actually significant. So now the stupid really starts kicking in. We get Sabine and Ahsoka having a conversation on the hull of Ahsoka's ship, which is slowly going along with the Dink Dinks. They're literally traveling at 30 miles an hour. Why are they with the Dink Dinks? What does this matter? They're trying to stop Thrawn. Why are you bringing the Dink Dinks along with you? TIE fighters attack. They show up and they start shooting the Ahsoka ship, and somehow they actually do damage, which is really strange because all those P-51 quasi-type ships for shooting at it never did any real damage to it. But now these TIE fighters do damage. And of course, they take out the stabilizer, and we get this moment where we have Ezra and Ahsoka trying to stop the ship with the Force. It's a legitimate use of the Force. I'm okay with that. But you know what I'm not okay with? Sabine being a dumbass. What does she do? She takes a ship and she flies it at the TIE fighters. And literally, she flies into them. So she takes out the two TIE fighters, crashes Ahsoka's ship. And of course, because, Sabine can't die. I mean, she's got Mandalorian armor, but nothing beats plot armor. She walks away, and it's like, yeah, it's all good.
Got him.
Got him. Oh, got him. Oh, Jesus. Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine mount their wargs, take off towards the Star Destroyer at like a much better pace than they were going with the Dink Dinks. Really, if any of y'all can explain to me why they're just chumming along with this caravan of Dink Dinks at this point, please let me know in the comments below, because it makes no freaking sense to me.
I know, very good. That's true.
Thrawn recognizes what has happened. The two TIE fighters have been taken out. And what does he say?
Which is why we should prepare for a ground assault.
Strategic genius Grand Admiral Thrawn is concerned. Prepare for ground assault.
Why, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This is the dumbest strategic genius I've ever seen in my life. Literally, the man's been there 10 years. He couldn't track down Ezra. He let Sabine go off, and she found him in an hour or so. And I was like, oh, I now have found him. This is stupid. This is what happens when you have stupid writers trying to write for smart characters. It comes off bad.
It's just bad writing.
So now we have all of our, I'm just going to call them the wannabe Jedis, riding in on their wargs, and the Star Destroyers throwing down blasts of fire left and right. How the hell are you guys missing at this point? I know stormtroopers are bad shots, apparently, despite the fact they're supposedly elite stormtroopers, special forces, whatever. I don't care whatever force magic, force powers they got going on. Literally, Star Destroyer's glass planets. How are they not hitting them? This is dumb. This is stupid.
Stupid, stupid, stupid.
We now have Ahsoka et al. Assaulting the giant phallus, inserting itself into the hull of the Star Destroyer, and they meet resistance with a bunch of stormtroopers. And they do what people who say they're a Jedi are supposed to do. They block laser blast. Again, it's like no one was properly choreographing these people. It is so sloppy and lazy. I've seen this before. I know what to expect. And this is lazy. This is sloppy. This is crap. I know it's a TV show. But at the same time, I know they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this. And you couldn't spend a little time to have a true swordsman choreographer come in and say, this is how you do it. This is how you move. This is how we train. Apparently not. Doesn't matter anymore. You know, I'm going to take a moment to give just a real helpful hint when making, YouTube reviews. Don't accidentally unplug your microphone when you're doing a video and then continue doing the video for 10 minutes without knowing it's unplugged, because apparently you just have like video without any sound.
Check out the big brain on bread.
The lightsaber fight, like I say, it's annoying. Almost like unplugging your microphone in the middle of a review. Ezra, honestly, I don't have much of a problem the way Ezra's portrayed. I think he's actually fighting quite well. Ahsoka, as I said before, her moves are clunky. Sabine, well, she's using a lightsaber, but of course, she can't use it the way a Jedi would because she doesn't, feel the Force yet. Remember that. She doesn't feel it yet. So then she goes back to fighting Mandalorian style, which makes a lot of sense because Mandalorians are very skilled warriors. They were very skilled against fighting Jedi as they were hundreds of years. Ultimately, they're able to defeat this group of stormtroopers. And Thrawn is going to get ready to depart. But he needs a little more time. So, Star Destroyer is hooking up to the giant space ring. And it's time to call on some Dathmerian magic. That's right. Because we don't have enough magic in our sci-fantasy show.
I know.
Dave Play just loves to copy things. So what do we got now? Zombie stormtroopers.
Ezra.
Stormtrooper zombies going after Ezra, Sabine, Ahsoka because they want Jedi brains. Fight them up. The pillar, ultimately our heroic trio is able to cut them off through some blast doors and continue going up. At that point, Morgan has been dispatched to delay them. And as they all arrive, it's 3-on-1. Be probably a pretty good fight there for the good guys, right? But no. Ahsoka says, I'll handle this. You go on and stop Thrawn. Yeah. Time for the sword fighting of the middle-aged women. Ahsoka and Morgan are fighting down below. Sabine and Ezra reach the top and they encounter what appear to be like death troopers who are just really, badasses, basically. I don't know if they have Dathmerian magic in them or what, but they just start handing Sabine and Ezra their asses. And, they both lose their lightsabers. The one picks up Sabine. Ezra, not having a lightsaber, just goes hand to hand, I guess, and forgets that he has the Force. Because, he does have the Force. Who doesn't have the Force? Sabine. yet. Because yes, finally, here it comes. Just as she's being choked out, she reaches out with her hand. And it's the moment we've all been waiting for. This such an earned moment for this character who's never shown any indication of wanting to be a Jedi whatsoever. Never shown any force ability whatsoever. What does she do? Ezra's still fighting, hand to hand for some reason. Sabine is able to distract that, super death trooper, and Ezra chops his head off after he uses force to get his lightsaber. So now we have 2 Jedi now. But they still got to get aboard that Star Destroyer. Can't make that jump. And Ezra's like, I can't make it. It's too far. Don't worry, because we now have Super Jedi Sabine, who apparently went to the Rey Palpatine school of using force powers, because suddenly she knows exactly what to do. So Ezra does his Jedi jump, and along the way, Sabine force pushes him onto the Star Destroyer. Oh, this show, jeez. Dave Filoni is a genius.
Sure.
At this point, Sabine actually does not join Ezra on the ship. She decides it's time to, join the person she cares about most, Ahsoka. So she runs off to help Ahsoka. Let's be honest, Ahsoka might need some help right now because she's not doing well in her fight against Morgan. Morgan's disarmed her with destroying one of her lightsabers. She's got her in a vulnerable position. And what does she say?
And you will die here. Alone.
Now, what is that response?
Not alone.
Once again, Dave plagiarists just picks and chooses the things he wants.
He'll die alone, as will you. She's not alone.
I swear. So now Sabine joins the fray, and yeah, it's time for some real fighting by some Jedi, because we got all the Jedi now. All the Force is definitely female, because Sabine is fighting with a skill that we've never seen her fight before. Because now she's got it. She's got the Force.
That's not how the Force works.
Ahsoka battles Morgan. Very angry fight. Still a little sloppy. I will say the pace picked up a little bit more. Ahsoka's able to disarm Morgan and then slash her through the gut. Somehow that kills her? It's only cut across the belly. I don't know how that killed her. The Chimera is flying off into space. Ahsoka and Sabine, still dealing with the zombie troopers on top of the plateau. They run towards the end and they jump off and land on Ahsoka's starship. How did they know that was there? Last we knew, they were still trying to make that thing fly. But now they're on the ship, and now they're pursuing Thrawn. And Thrawn communicates and talks to Ahsoka. And it's a little bit of taunting. I'm not certain if it's Thrawn-like or not. He basically says, I knew I would defeat you because I knew who your master was. I knew you'd do everything that your master would do. And of course he wonders, would you become who your master was?
One wonders just how similar you might become.
But the killer part for me, and again, we talked about this on a live watch, Thrawn calls Ahsoka this.
Perhaps this is where a Ronin such as you belongs.
I'm certain the writers think they're being so clever. Because a Ronin is, if I recall correctly, a masterless samurai.
Should a samurai ever lose or fail his master, he suffers the greatest shame in all Japanese society. He becomes a Ronin.
But to use a word, use an actual Japanese word to describe Ahsoka a long time ago in a galaxy far away makes no damn sense. It is lazy, it's sloppy, and they're probably like, look what we did. We're so smart.
Moron! Moron! Hey, moron!
Regardless of that stupidity, Thrawn, of course, takes off back to our normal Star Wars galaxy, leaving Ahsoka and Sabine trapped. They return to the planet, catch up with the Dink Dinks for some reason, and basically looks like they're going to just start hanging out there. Thrawn, of course, like I said, gets back to the galaxy, our normal Star Wars galaxy, and goes to Dathomir because, he's got that cargo to deliver, all those little sarcophagi. You see him on the Star Destroyer, and, God dang it, if I'm not recalling something else when I see that lone figure walking down the aisles and aisles. We now see that shuttle that Balin and Shin had at the beginning coming towards the Republic fleet. It lands and all the Republic soldiers are standing outside, and a stormtrooper walks out. Chopper goes up like a loyal puppy, remembering the return of an old master. Yep, that's right, because you see, under that stormtrooper helmet, because this person decided to keep a stormtrooper helmet on, is Ezra. I don't know why he did that. Why does he need the helmet on? There's no one else in the shuttle, right? First off, how did he get that shuttle? How did he get it? Where'd that come from? How did he know where to go find the New Republic fleet? We just assume he did. And why would you keep a helmet on when there's no other stormtroopers around? Wouldn't you just I don't need this anymore. I'm going to take it off.
Don't make no sense.
You know who we haven't seen at all in this show? Shin and Balin? Yeah. Well, I guess Shin's gone off to hang out with those renegades and pirates on the planet. I don't know why, but she runs up on their encampment and holds her lightsaber in the air. What does this mean? What's she doing? Is she joining? Is she going to lead them? As for Balin, well, he's standing on top of a giant statue. And it definitely looks like, a scene from Lord of the Rings. But more importantly, it's the Mortis gods. It's the father and the son. Statue of the daughter's not there, but the father and the son are there. Is it actually Mortis? I don't know. What's Balin doing? I don't know. He doesn't even talk. He could have been an interesting character, but I feel like this episode and the last just kind of ruined whatever interest we had in him. Ahsoka and Sabine are all on their own, and the Dinks. But don't worry, they're being watched over because, yeah, that's right. One last key jangle. Force Ghost Anakin appears, just standing there watching over, like a good father would. Whenever he ever goes sees his kids, he does have kids. Might be nice for him to go communicate with his son through the Force. Maybe even see his daughter Leia. Why would he do that? Let's watch over the most important character in all the Star Wars universe, Ahsoka. Because as the show wraps up, that's what I feel like that's what this whole thing was about, making her the most important thing. But what really happened in the show?
The show is about nothing.
It's probably $200 million. They could have done a movie, a 2-hour movie. The problem is, who would go see it? Because these are brand new characters. Let's be honest. For the general Star Wars audience, the normie audience, these are brand new characters. No one knows who the hell these people are. Who does this appeal to other than the small number of Rebels fans? They missed the mark on this one big time. Rosario Dawson had no charisma as Ahsoka. You don't get engaged by the character. Never mind the lore and canon destroying actions that are taken here, where now we have someone just randomly having the Force. This was a long watch, and it felt like nothing of substance happened. The only good thing for me was enjoying the live watch. Oh, New Hope was better than Return of the Jedi.
No.
Hey. Oh, yes,
It
it
had
was.
Ewoks in it.
Are you shilling, you motherfucker?
It had murder bears, dude. The fucking when you realize that all the helmets they're playing, they ate those fucking people. It really kicks in.
They were going to cook Han and Luke, for the love of God.
But no,
the only reason they didn't cook Leia is they're probably going to have sex with her and make mutant Ewok babies.
She was on her period. They could smell the estrogen.
Oh wait, there's like, oh wait, it's Carrie Fisher. She's got coke with her. Never mind. We're now cocaine bears.
Motherfuckers.
Well done, gentlemen. Well done. This is miseries we had watching the show. We had a lot of fun commenting about it. I don't know that we'll do it again. I don't know that we could take another 8 episodes of something like this. Who knows? Maybe there'll be an Ahsoka too, and maybe we'll just feel like, psychologically torturing ourselves again. It could happen. Otherwise. Questions, comments, witticisms down below. Click that like button. Click that subscribe button. Share this with your friends. I'm also at 100 subscribers, which is fun for me. See you guys later.